Good evening, and welcome to the ribbon cutting ceremony for the addition and renovation. I should say final, if I'm talking to the staff. Finally, the addition and renovation of Krista S. McAuliffe STEM Academy. I'm Kent Henson. I'm Assistant Superintendent of Support Services, and I oversee all the bond projects. Since the passing of the bond in November of 2019, we are currently under contract, indirect planning, or have completed 19 school projects. That's only 2 years. Some of you were here for our beam topping ceremony last March, about 10 months ago. This ceremony marks our first ribbon cutting for one of the 5 major school projects that were in the bond of 2019. So we're very happy that you're here for this. And by the way, we have 3 of these next fall and 1 of them in the following fall. So Teresa's bought new scissors for this, and we're going to be really happy to put them to their first use tonight. And now, before we go any further, I would like to introduce the McAuliffe Choir, who will be singing the Silver Falcon School song by Tim Beckman.
Helps the technology work.
Thank you very much. I think we should have them stand one more time. One thing I heard in that song was I heard the words "reach for the stars." And I think the nice thing and what we're appreciative with the bond project is that District 6, that bond has allowed us to reach for the stars. And as we go around and look at each of our buildings that we have underway or designed, we look at each one of those as individual buildings and try to design the building to the culture of the school, the culture of the community, and the academic focus of the school. And so when I hear Reach for the Stars, to me that was pretty poignant for today as we open this STEM school, and not the school, but the STEM addition to the school, and have created 50,000 square foot of additional space for kids to learn STEM for District 6. So thank you. So thank you again for being here tonight. Us being here would not be possible without the support of a lot of people. And so right now, if you're a parent of a McAuliffe student, raise your hand. If you're a grandparent, staff, yeah, we'll talk more about you later. If you're on the Facility Master Planning Committee that did the work to set the bond forth almost 4 years ago, raise your hand. A lot of you here, thank you. If you're on the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, raise your hand. If you were on the Growing Great Schools Campaign Committee to help with the bond campaign, raise your hand. If you're in the Greeley or City of Evans Chamber of Commerce, raise your hand. And then we'd also like to recognize, do we have any state or county officials here today? Thank you very much for being here.
Mr. Henson, that is Commissioner Perry Buck.
Thank you. Everybody's wearing a mask. Thank you for being here. And also, City of Evans and City of Greeley Planning Department. Do we have anybody here? Yeah, thank you very much, Mike Garrett. This is a true partnership with the City of Greeley as we started this project talking about traffic out front. That was a big deal for this school, and so a lot of work went into planning that design. And also from the City of Evans, we have Elisa Johnson, who's also a parent here and is also on the City of Evans City Council. Thank you for being here. And next, and very proud to announce our leader, Dr. Deirdre Prilch.
I should probably just stay up there so I'm taller. Thank you, Mr. Henson. So, hey, you guys, did you ever have a stair before in your school to sing from? No. Is this so cool? Yeah. Yes, it is so cool. It is so cool. And I want to echo what Mr. Henson said about this is our first ribbon cutting on our big projects in this bond issue. And most importantly, it is the second ribbon cutting we've had in a decade. Well, third, because we had Prairie Heights, which is a rebuild for John Evans, and then the opening of Fred Chartis School of Innovation, and now here at McAuliffe STEM Academy K-8. So I have some thank yous and some introductions, but I want to share first just a little bit about our journey here. So Mr. Peterson, Jeff Peterson, the principal. Yay, Jeff. So Jeff and I started at the same time 7 years ago. So I can't take credit for hiring him. He'd already been hired as the principal when I got here to be superintendent. And somewhere in the fall-ish, winter-ish of that first year, Mr. Peterson asked Mr. Tuttle and me to come over for a meeting. And he said, I'm looking at my enrollment, and these families keep leaving to go to other schools. And I think I'd like to look at becoming a STEM Academy focus school. We've been called S. Krista McAuliffe School. It just makes sense we'd be a STEM Academy. And then we looked deeper at the data, and what we saw was that kids were leaving to go to a K-8. And sometimes they left and took a sibling with them. And it really wasn't about not wanting to be at McAuliffe, but really families wanting that K-8 experience for their children. So I said to Jeff, what if we became a K-8? And we looked at the campus, already very crowded. As you all know, our schools are all over capacity. And we began to build out a plan of what we would have to do to become a K-8. And we knew that we couldn't keep kids in portables forever, right? How many portables were here, Jeff?
We had 16 portable classrooms total.
16 classrooms in portables total, 16. They're gone now, or most of them are gone. Are they all gone yet?
There might be
One left. Woo! Woo! So we knew we couldn't keep kids in portables forever, right? It's no way to educate children. We knew that if we were going to expand to K-8, that we would have to have a larger gymnasium and a larger cafeteria and larger spaces for kids to be in. We'd need to have middle school science labs if we're going to have a middle school here, right? And so what we knew was we had to have a bond issue to do that. Those are real dollars. They're not dollars that you can save over time and to be able to do this kind of an addition at the school. And so I am just so very, very grateful to our community, our voters in our community who said, yes, we will commit the dollars, not only for this project, but for all the other projects in the district so that we could do what we dreamed of, what Mr. Peterson dreamed of that day 7 years ago when he said, I'd really like to be a STEM Academy K-8 school. And as a result of that, we're here today. And so my story is you just got to dream it, and eventually you'll figure out how to do it, right? A lot of planning went into it, Mr. Peterson. So grateful to you, Jeff, to you and your staff for all the work you've done. It's been a rough couple of years. They've been living in construction. So you can only imagine. If you've done a home remodel project ever, maybe just a bathroom or a kitchen or even just replace your flooring, now take that by like times 100. That's what these folks have been living in for many, many months. And so thank you to all of you staff for your flexibility, your creativity, and your dedication. Yes, Shonda wants to clap. Go ahead, Shonda. Start us off. Also, it takes community support to do something like this. But most importantly, it takes a Board of Education who is courageous and brave and has vision to do this kind of work in a school district. And so I want to recognize the folks who currently serve on our Board of Education, and then I also want to recognize some other folks. So some of our board members right here in the front, Mrs. Taylor Sullivan, give everybody a wave. Mr. Kyle Bentley, and his security is sitting behind him, and his name is Charger. Yeah. Mr. Rob Norwood, Mrs. Natalie Mash, our board vice president, Mrs. Terry Pappas, and board president, Michael Matthews. So, and then Pepper Mueller is not able to be with us. I think she's on an airplane for a work obligation right now, but she sends her regrets. But these 7 folks, as I think most of you know, serve as elected officials, as volunteers on our Board of Education. And thank you for your deep dedication, and thank you to those of you who were a part of helping us to pass this bond issue. I also see some other former Board of Education members in the room who I think it is appropriate to recognize because what comes before us leads to what will come after us, right? So Mr. Bob Stack is here, and I know you're deeply dedicated to the STEM focus, Bob. And Mr. Jess Quimby. And Dr. Bruce Badarius. I think it's Dr. Stack, actually, and Dr. Bruce Badarius. I know that both Bruce and Jess served on the bond oversight committee, and they also served, Bruce also served to help advise us as a community group to bring this project to fruition, so thank you. Did I miss any other former school board members in the room? Okay. So again, I am just so grateful for the opportunity to serve you all and to serve this community as your superintendent and to see something like this to come to fruition and to just be a little bit a part of dreaming what we can become and do for our students here in District 6. We couldn't do it without all of you as parents and as community members, and especially you staff and you amazing students. So thank you. With that, I want to introduce our board president, Michael Matthews, to say a few words. Thank you to all of you.
We were here not that long ago, and I think probably 2 years ago for a board visit, and one of the teachers, a woman named Molly, who I knew, said, "Oh, come and see my classroom." And I went to see, and what she showed me was essentially a closet. I'm not jesting. I mean, that was the state of the school. I cannot believe where I am right now, and this is an incredible achievement to this community. It makes a difference. It makes a difference to our kids. It makes a difference in the kind of education you believe that you can receive and what you believe that you can attain. Our expectations for our kids, that becomes their expectations. It's what they believe they can achieve and what they can do. And when we have schools, and we did, guys, when we talk about how many, 16? 16 portable classrooms just on this campus, roofs that were flooding water. We needed to make an incredible investment in this community. And so I just want to say thank you to this community for making that investment, to the taxpayers of this community for making such a substantial investment in our kids. I want to say thank you to the staff. Again, as Dr. Pilch has already said, we've watched what you guys have had to do and the way that you had to move classrooms and be here one day and in another one the next day, and thank you for your flexibility in getting us to this point. I want to say thank you to our administrative staff. They have been remarkable, especially Mr. Kent Henson, this guy, and it would be appropriate to applaud at this point. I say this every time, and because we've done a few of beam toppings and things like. I don't know that this guy's had a day off since we passed that bond issue, and if he has had a day off, he hasn't had many. Also, want to thank Tony Check as well. He's been right alongside and doing a lot of that, and there are a number of others. I can't go through all the administration, but I certainly want to thank our superintendent. We have 7 board members, but we have 1 leader in this school district, and she's fantastic. And so it would not be possible without her work. And so, again, thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you to our voters. And I'll hand this back to Mr. Henson.
Thank you, Dr. Pilch and Mr. Matthews. Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm all over it. I got it. Okay. First, now I'd like to identify the team that has really worked 2 years on this project. We've worked, weekly and more on this project for 2 years. So I'd like to recognize, and I'm going to make people move, darn it. No more sitting around. So I'd like the design team, the Cunningham group, to come up, the architecture. We have Jackie Squires, Carrie Ellen Mock, Todd Vandenberg, and Henry Bester. Will you please come stand up here? So, just we're so proud and happy of the design of this building, and thank you very much for your creativity and thoughtfulness in this project. And then the construction team. of Joe Otis and Thad Lineman and Nathaniel Phelps can't be here, Bruce Zink, and Kevin Sladovnik. Will you please come up? Joe is the project manager. I'm embarrassing the heck out of him right now. But this guy has been here every day for 2 years. This is the guy that's coordinated the safety. We've been building around this school, in this school, on top of this school, and he's worked very closely with Jeff and the staff here to make sure we did it in a very safe environment. So, very well done, Joe. Thank you. And then our owner's reps, RLH Engineering, Jeff Kirtley, Chuck Jordan, and Michael Craig are here. Come on up. RLH Engineering partners with us on every one of our projects, making sure the minutia of permits, of billing, of basically these guys keep this team in line for us, but we all work as a very close team, so we really appreciate their efforts. And, you know, RLH, I'm just going to be honest with you, with all those projects that I said we have underway, currently we're about 13 million under budget. And so that's just awesome with that. So thank you very much, RLH. And then the City of Greeley Planning Department, I see Julie Kozad, come on, Julie, come on, Michael Garrett, come on up. Brittany Hathaway, Raymond Lee, Becky Safrick, if you're here. Come on. We have worked with the City of Greeley a lot, and it's been a very cooperative effort on all of our projects. Problem solving, how we're going to fit this here, that there, make this traffic go this way, and whatever. So we very much appreciate that. And then I've got to acknowledge the mayor, Mayor Gates, who oversees the city. You want to come up, Mayor? Come on. And then this last group is really hiding. These are my managers that work for District 6. These guys they also keep the physical plants and the grounds and everything running in this building along top of reading blueprints, ensuring that our designs meet district specifications. And they've just done a great job, tireless job, a lot of extra work. But Kent Anderson, John Tate, Philip Valadez, come on, start walking, I know you hate it. David Upton, Bruce Corbin, Tony Check, Michael Schofield, Scott Ford, Dominic Gavina. I'm not sure if they all made it, come on up. So this is, besides some that aren't here, this is the horsepower that it takes on a weekly basis to keep this project moving. And I appreciate all your efforts. Thank you very much. You can sit down. And then we're getting here to the end. I want to acknowledge this group of teachers over here. And I want you guys to know I use you as an example all across the district when I hear people say, well, it's dusty or it's dirty. 2 years ago, I came and did a presentation for you that I just showed, I think, 3 emotions. One was of excitement. We're so happy this is going to start. The next picture was a face of fear and stress. I probably should have made that about 100 slides for you long, because they have gone through being moved, prodded, packed. They've been out in portable classrooms. They've been moved around. Literally, construction here, if you didn't watch, was happening almost 360 degrees around this building at some time. And we did it in a safe manner, but you guys are rock stars. Thank you very much. And their leader, who kept this together, and also really, I should have had down here with the design team because he was in every meeting. He was even in meetings I'm sure I didn't know about, and probably got some things in that I didn't approve, I'm sure, because he was on site. But Jeff Peterson did an awesome job of being flexible, understanding the complexity of this project, working with his staff, keeping morale high, and he just never said no. He understood the assignment, and he did a great job, because if your principal's not on board with chaos, then you have chaos. So thank you very much, Jeff.
Well, thank you. And I know you've heard that a lot, but you cannot hear that enough. So first, I would like to thank Dr. Pilch and Wes Tuttle for being crazy enough to sit down with me that day. And Dr. Pilch said, "What do you think it's going to take?" And I said, "Oh, gosh, well, I don't know. Let's figure it out." And together we started down this journey. So thank you again for joining us on this momentum milestone on our journey. We could not have done it without all of you. So thank you again. I also want to say thank you to my family. My family has supported me through this, and I appreciate all of the support that they have given me. I also want to say thank you to the Board of Education, former board and current board, for helping us support through all of this. I want to thank the Greeley and Evans voters. We could not have done this without you. We needed this bond to make this happen, and you see, I mean, it's amazing what we've been able to accomplish, so thank you so much for your support. I also want to say thank you to my staff for your flexibility, for your grace, and for your support. We would not have been able to be where we are today without this, so thank you to them. Thank you also to the students and families. Our students are so resilient, and we worry about what things were going to happen, and they rolled with the punches, and they kept learning. Everything that was going on, they grew, and we appreciate it. So thank you to them. I'm sorry if I forgot someone. I don't want to forget anyone, but I want to just say thank you to everyone. The last thing is, I just can't wait. When we're all said and done with this, we're very excited for you to see how our addition tied into our existing building and all the remodels and the amazing spaces. It's been so fun to see the collaboration that we've had between teachers and between students, having all 9 grades under one roof. When I first got here, there were portable classrooms there, and it just didn't still feel right. The 3rd graders went out to the cottages when I was here, and they loved their cottages, and they did amazing with it. But it still just did not feel right having a grade outside. So it feels so amazing to have us all under one roof. Something as simple as we're eating lunch together and watching the little kids go over to see the big kids and give them hugs at lunchtime and say hi to them, and then they go on to their day. So we can't wait for you to see these amazing spaces that we have, and we're just so excited to continue on in our journey and continue to grow. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. So as we wrap up, I want to say one more thing about the building and about this expansion. So Jeff mentioned that we had portables here, so we were already over capacity. But when we moved this school to a K-8, we had projected that we would have about 600 students or so here once we were built out K through 8th grade. How many students are here now, Jeff?
We have 890 with one more section to grow next year.
890, and we're going to grow one more section. So we more than doubled the enrollment at this school. And why that is so important is that means that we're providing choice that our families want, so we can educate children well right here in District 6. So thank you to your leadership again.